Being seen in your power is fucking scary, but that is one of the pieces that is so necessary. Being loud as fuck about your wins. Loud as fuck about your wins and loud as fuck about your clients' wins as well.
You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, business and mindset coach and imposter syndrome expert. And let's talk about, before we get into the episode today, which I'm really excited about. Today we are talking all about marketing with past success and sharing old wins and testimonials. What I actually really think about this, especially as somebody who has coached a lot of women who have imposter syndrome, I have thoughts about this. I have a lot of thoughts about it actually, and I'm here to spill the tea for you today. But first, let me tell you about how we can work together in Q3. We are now in Q3, and your girl gets married next month, which is fucking wild. As I'm recording this in June, it's actually crazy thinking about when you're listening to this. I'm going to be so much closer to my wedding date, which is freaking insane. So anyways, the From Imposter to Empowered program is my program. If you are making less than 5K a month, if you are hitting 0K to 3K a month, you don't have that recurring income, you feel overwhelmed by all the ways to run an online business, you're in this push and pull place with your self-worth where you know you're meant to be successful, but in your day-to-day, you just don't feel good enough to make it happen. You can't be super consistent on social media. You are in the right place when you join the From Imposter to Empowered program, which is a rolling group program for coaches and service providers that are making, again, between 0 to 3K a month, and you are ready to grow your business to bare fucking minimum 5K months. Okay, so where you are right now is you have a lack of belief in yourself and what you're doing. You don't feel like you can have a super successful online business. You're looking at what everyone else is doing and deeply comparing yourself. When you do show up, it takes you way longer than you know that it should. Like creating content, selling your offer, posting online, it all feels like a lot. And when you do show up, you're overthinking, you're doubting yourself, and you feel constantly pulled in all these different directions. You don't know if you should launch a program or a podcast or to keep selling your current offers. And you have a vision, but you can't even get yourself started to begin with. And you just don't take the action. You have all these ideas, but then it's like you can't actually take the action. And then you are thinking about charging a certain amount. You want to charge higher. You're afraid that nobody is going to pay what you want to be paid. You worry that your work isn't actually worth this price point that you want to charge, right? And this is how you know that you're a great fit for being in the From Imposter to Empowered program. You're going to have that belief in yourself and the work that you're doing. You're going to feel like you are in a league of your own. Who cares what anybody else is fucking doing? You're going to be able to take intentional action without overthinking constantly. Like you'll have a clear plan of execution and you will show up consistently without burnout every single day. It is so possible. You will learn how to be so confident as you sell your offer, knowing that it is worth what you want to fucking charge for it, because you decide how you want to be compensated, and you will know that you are worthy of the exchange of money for the service that you offer. That is what's going to happen. That is what's going to completely happen inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program. Like I said, this is a group program for you if you want to overcome imposter syndrome, show up consistently without fucking burning out, and learn how to sell your offer with confidence so you can get to those 5K bare minimum months. That is what's going to happen when you join this program. And inside of the program, you get the mindset, you get the manifestation, and you get the aligned business strategy. That is what the From Imposter to Empowered formula is. It is the curriculum that follows the mindset, the manifestation, and the aligned business strategy framework. So you can, again, create those 5K consistent months. When you join, you will get access to the curriculum. You will get access to my 3 courses, which is the content course, the sales course, and the launching course. So you will be fully supported there. And you will also get monthly hot seat coaching calls and access to me in Slack with the Slack community, where you can ask any question and get coaching throughout the week. This program is only $444 a month, and you can join us now at the link in my show notes. It is on rolling enrollment, which means that you can join at any time whenever you are fucking ready. And there is no better time than right fucking now to join. If you are done not making the money that you really want to be making, when you actually want to be a part of my group of clients that have made over $1.1 million collectively, when you want to be that bitch who actually believes that she can have a successful fucking business, that is when you are going to join the From Imposter to Empowered program. Okay, so the link is in my show notes. And if you have already surpassed 5K months, if you have made 5K a month here or there, and you are just ready to go fucking big and skyrocket into 10K plus months, that is when you join the Fraud Squad Mastermind. So you're going to join the Fraud Squad Mastermind because you are wanting to be more visible. You are wanting to create content that is more activating, that is more you, that is more fully fucking unfiltered. But as you think about going bigger, the imposter syndrome starts to creep in and be like, can I actually be the woman that makes money every single day? Can I actually be the woman that hits 10K consistently a month? Can I actually have that? The answer is yes. And that is what you're gonna fucking do in the Fraud Squad Mastermind. This is my mastermind where as soon as you join for 4 months. And as soon as you join, you get access to the Fraud Squad curriculum that is gonna help you create and take you step by step to your 10K plus months. You are going to get bi-weekly calls in the mastermind as well with me, and these are hot seat coaching calls. You are also going to get access to my courses, of course, the content course, the sales course, and the launch course, and you are going to get the monthly client events as well, which is the breathwork call that we have every single month, as well as the client content parties, which you also get those 2 calls too in the From Imposter to Empowered program. But the From Imposter to Empowered program is for you if you're trying to hit those 5K consistent months, and the Fraud Squad is more so for you if you are trying to hit 10K plus a month. Okay, so that is how you can differentiate the 2, and that is going to be your inkling to coming into my world and figuring out what works for you, what offer works for you. And I'm telling you, whatever container you choose to come in, you are going to be completely supported, and we are going to get you the fucking results that you want to get. These are not containers where you're like, okay, I'm going to join because Jill's talking about it, and then as soon as you get in, you get coached by 10 different people. There's like 100 in the containers. Like, you're like, what the fuck? What did I invest in? When you get into either of these containers, you get my eyes and my ears, all of the support on your business. And that is the tea. That is the tea on my 2 offers that, like, you have to come in because they are so fucking good. And that is what I wanted to tell you guys today. Come into the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Fraud Squad Mastermind. I am waiting for you to fuck shit up. And for the Fraud Squad, there are a couple options for payment. So you'll join for 4 months, and you can join for 4K pay in full. You can join for $1,111 a month for 4 months, or you can join for $888 a month for 5 months. That is an extended payment plan for you. Okay, so go to the link in my show notes. You can check out those sales pages, see the testimonials, see the frequently asked questions, and if you have any questions at all about either the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Fraud Squad Mastermind, you can hit me up on Instagram at YourCoachJill, and we will have a little chat to see which container is best for you. Okay, so let's get into today's episode. So I decided to share my thoughts on using old testimonials based on a conversation with a client. So she noticed that when she shared more testimonials on her Instagram stories, she got way more clicks on her applications to work with her, but she had a little bit of a hang up. She thought that if she shared the same testimonials often, people would start to notice. She also felt fear around her clients noticing their testimonials being used repeatedly, and she wondered if it was even ethical to use testimonials from the past. And she felt like she couldn't talk about her past success or her clients' past success because it wasn't happening right now. And this was causing her to completely freeze up when creating content. It was taking her forever to show up on her stories because she really started to overthink everything. And this is, first of all, this is imposter syndrome in action. You guys already know this if you are an avid listener of the podcast. When you have imposter syndrome, everything that you're currently feeling, you're like, okay, this is great. If I'm currently feeling this way, that is good. If success is happening right now, it's great. But you also have this feeling of like, this is going to last forever. Or if you're feeling like shit, if you're not seeing results, blah, 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 that's how you determine your success on, is things are only as good as they are right now. And that is what imposter syndrome will do to you. It's like that anxious attachment style in terms of you are only as secure as your last interaction with the person who you have the anxious attachment style with. And the same can be true for your business in terms of like you are anxiously attached to your business because you only feel as good as what's happening right now in your business, your results, your client results, etc. So my client was overthinking fucking everything. And you guys know how sassy I like to get because no one gives a flying fuck about you sharing your testimonials. No one. Your audience does not notice if you share a testimonial this week that you shared last week. What they're noticing is that it is a testimonial of your work. While yes, they may be noticing what the testimonial says, somebody who is a potential client, which is the only person consuming your content who fucking matters, is looking at it through the lens of, I want to work with this person, whether now or in the future, and this is evidence that they would be a good choice. That, like, bare bones, that's what it's about. Somebody wanting to work with you is not going to scour your social media looking for a flaw, and they are not going to scrutinize your testimonials with a skeptical eye unless they're an annoying person, an annoying judgmental person who you don't even want to work with anyways. As for your clients, it's a part of my contracts or my intakes forms for the most part that I use screenshots and stuff for testimonials, and I always take out their name, their photo, anything that would identify that person. But if they can identify themselves in your testimonials, like they noticed that it's their message you posted, your clients are actually very happy to be celebrated. You don't even realize this. Like, I have had multiple clients say how excited they were to see me posting their wins. You're not taking credit for them. You are sharing the result of the work that you're doing. Which I also think is something that we need to touch on too, is the fact that like you need to be intentional about how you're sharing your testimonial. If your testimonials and screenshots aren't working for you, I would say that you need to go deeper on like telling the story behind that testimonial, behind that screenshot. But like, you're also not doing yourself any favors if you just like throw it up and be like, this client did this all on their own, blah, 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 blah. The whole point of a client sharing something with you is the fact that they want to celebrate their wins with you. They want to say, hey, as a result of the work that you and I are doing together, their effort and your effort as well, this is a result that has come up. And like I said, the way that you share your testimonial is really important, because if you are just throwing up the screenshot, that's not good enough. You need to throw it up and be like, this is the story between this testimonial, blah, 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 blah. But you're not taking credit for their wins. You aren't saying, I helped this client do blah, 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 and now she's doing this and la, la, la. You are still acknowledging that this person did the fucking work. Of course they did, or they wouldn't have gotten the result, right? Like, let's just agree that there is no way that I could take full credit for one of my clients' achievements. Like, there's no way. Like, they still have to do the work. I can give them the best coaching in the world, but if they're not taking action, if they're not doing the work, it's not going to work, right? So let's just like take this out of the equation. You're not taking credit for their wins, okay? You are sharing the result of the work that you guys are doing together. And if your client is sharing with you, they want you to share it. They either are excited about you sharing it or they're indifferent. I am so indifferent when the coach that I'm working with shares the results that I get. I don't care. I'm happy to see them. I'm happy to see her using them because like I too am a business coach, and like I would not share that with her if I didn't want her to share it, right? Again, I think the anonymity and the privacy thing is super important. Like I don't share, again, their photo or their name, and that's just something that I choose to do, whether it's they come into my program or something like that. Especially being an imposter syndrome coach, there are some people who kind of feel uncomfortable sharing that piece of it, but that's a whole shadow in itself, which we're not going to get into today. But share your fucking client wins. They are not thinking, oh my god, she's sharing this again. And if they are, they have shit going on behind the scenes that you guys should probably talk about together. But 99.9% of them aren't even going to have a fucking single thought about you sharing that win. And like I said before, like addressing the imposter syndrome elephant in the room, this is why it's so crucial to undo the limiting beliefs and the thoughts that you have about not being good enough, that you have about being a fraud, because there's a difference between a little gut check for integrity when you want to share a win and knowing that you helped your client create it versus believing you're not good enough as a coach or service provider and not taking credit where credit is due and not sharing your wins so people can see that your work fucking works. I also believe that if a client shares a win with me, like I just said, they want to be celebrated for that win. And I celebrate them by hyping them up, sharing it to my social media, and your clients want to be celebrated and seen by you. They absolutely do, no matter what the win is. They want to believe that they're making progress and that the work that they're putting in is working and that you're fucking proud of them. Like, who doesn't love hearing that you're proud of them, right? And why wouldn't you share old testimonials? That is such a crock of shit. And I think that this is like a side effect from an industry like the coaching industry, that it's very fast paced, always moving, always looking for the next win, the next accomplishment, the next dollar. The testimonials from all of my clients are secret, and I believe that they live on forever because the win that my client achieved was real in that moment, right? Like they felt real joy, real happiness, real transformation in that moment. They were able to go on vacation or paint their house or pay their mortgage or buy themselves something fancy as fuck because of that win. They have a better relationship with themselves, their family, their work because of that win. And even with a couple of past clients that I don't even work with anymore, whatever they're doing now, I still consider their wins real, right? Like what they created was real and what they felt was real. Like this is a stupid fucking example, but when Dustin and I picked up Hugo, our Chihuahua. He's 10 now, which is crazy, but he was this tiny little puppy that weighed less than a pound, and we were so happy and in love with this little doggo. And even though Hugo has done some annoying things over the past 10 years of us having him, that doesn't take away from the joy that we felt picking him up on that first day. Like, that would be ridiculous, right? So it doesn't erase any feelings or emotion or the fact that that happened, right? And the joy my client feels from her 20K month doesn't get erased because her sales dipped a little bit a couple months later. You know, like we give importance to our wins. We get to decide what is good enough to share and what counts. Just like with imposter syndrome, the reason why overcoming it is so powerful for my clients is because they realize that when they allow themselves to feel worthy, when they give themselves credit, when they take ownership over their wins, when they let themselves feel like powerful leaders just because they damn well decided to, people start seeing them that way too. Right? Like when you start to see yourself as a big fucking deal, your audience does too, because you are giving off that energy and it's infused in your content and how you show up in the words that you're saying. It's confidence in your messaging, right? It's confidence in saying, I can help you get these results. Your audience will inevitably get bigger. More people care what you're doing. You'll sign more clients because when you are your biggest cheerleader, you lead others into clapping for you too. And no one is criticizing your past wins or your clients' past wins but you. And that means that it's up to you to give yourself credit and share those fucking wins. Even if you cringe a little bit when you share them. Like, oh my God, this is definitely an old win, but I'm going to post it because I'm giving myself fucking credit, damn it. Right? Like, how sad is it that if you post a screenshot, you think this is the only time I can use this, blah, blah, blah? Of course not. Of course not. That's ridiculous, right? Imposter syndrome is that experience of not feeling good enough now, despite what you've done or accomplished. Do you see the connection here? When this happens, you're convinced that your worthiness is in the next win, the next thing that you'll achieve. If we take a client example, it can be being unhappy with your client's wins and thinking that they're not getting good enough wins, and then telling yourself the next win that they get, you'll feel like you're doing a good job. You'll allow yourself to feel like you're doing a good job. But when it comes, you still feel the same, because imposter syndrome makes you believe that your worthiness is in the future. And that is the real scam right there, right? Like, you need to practice feeling good enough now with the success that you already have, with the degrees you have, the certificates, the experience, the wins, your client wins, everything. They are all good enough now. Your wins and your client wins are good enough now. We can be incredibly self-sabotaging when it comes to running an online business. And this is one of the ways that I think imposter syndrome shows up the most in my clients. Sharing your story, your wins, and sharing the testimonials of your clients are big ways that people can decide to work with you. They are definitely not the only ways, but it's one of the ways. And why would you want to block that abundance flowing to you by sharing them? This is a huge limitation to your success, and most definitely a block to receiving if you have a lot of thoughts and anxieties about it. Your wins and your clients' wins deserve to be shared. Your work deserves to be seen. You deserve to be seen. But you won't let yourself be seen if you don't think that you or your wins or your client wins are good enough, or if you're afraid to be judged, or if you're worried about what your clients or what people in your audience will think about the wins that you're sharing. Okay? And let me tell you this, making a huge impact as a coach or a service provider, attracting soulmate clients to your offers, and making a lot of money can't fucking happen if you freeze up around sharing some motherfucking testimonials. Okay? Like, that is basic ass shit. You need to be more comfortable with being seen in your power. I have a client who, she is an amazing one-to-one client, and she saw a huge uptick in her sales. She started adding recurring revenue almost right away as soon as she started sharing more and more testimonials, right? So being seen in your power is fucking scary, but that is one of the pieces that is so necessary. Being loud as fuck about your wins. Loud as fuck about your wins, and loud as fuck about your clients' wins as well. You need to show people that your work fucking gets results. And that is our focus in my containers, in the From Imposter to Empowered program and in the Fraud Squad Mastermind. More confidence in yourself and what you do, more visibility and being known for what you do, more clients, and of course, more fucking money. So that is my take. That is my hot take on marketing with your past wins. Of course it is. What did you think I was going to say, right? Like, I am the imposter syndrome queen. What did you think I was going to fucking say? But you can share your wins. You can stand in your power. And that is exactly how your audience is going to perceive you. However you see yourself, however you see your client wins, however you see your wins, and celebrate yourself, that is what gives other people the permission to see you as a big deal. So give them the fucking permission and take up space. Take up fucking space. Okay? So like I said at the beginning of this episode, you can come and join us in the From Imposter to Empowered program or in the Fraud Squad Mastermind to figure out where you sit in terms of which container is for you. You can go into the link in my show notes. The click here link is going to take you to the sales page for those offers. And you can always hit me up on Instagram at your coach Jill, and we can have a chat about which container is for you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at Your Coach Jill. See you next time.